Hello YouTube people. It's been 10 months since I made a video. I'm not sure if I made one after my surgery or not. I can't remember. I'd have to look back on them, and I try not to watch them because it makes me upset. But I thought I'd do an update video. A friend of mine said I should do one, so here you go, Stacey. I'm doing one. Yes, like I said, it's been 10 months. So far I've lost 17 kilos in 10 months. And I think that's a very good achievement. I've had to do a lot of work on my eating issues and my emotional issues also, because I'm an emotional eater. Whenever I was upset, I would go straight for anything sweet, anything that would make me feel good for a little while, sugar rush, whatnot. But my eating habits have changed dramatically. After surgery, I found that I didn't like sweet foods as much. For months, I went without liking chocolate bars and things like that. I would still eat them, but rather than not being able to satisfy my cravings for sweet foods, I would have a little chocolate bar, and that would be enough. And even that in itself was amazing for me. To just, have all these problems with foods, and to have it almost taken away just from having surgery was great. But these days I've been finding I'm liking chocolates more, I'm liking sweets more. I'm not nearly as bad as I used to be. I find myself emotionally eating, like just on autopilot. I've noticed when I'm starting to do it. I got upset a couple of weeks ago about something, and before I knew what I was doing, I had a chocolate bar in my mouth, a little snack-sized chocolate bar, and I actually spat it out before chewing it because I realised what was going on, and I went, oh my god, where did this come from? Like, it just went on autopilot, and I ended up putting it down. I went and put my sneakers on and I went for a walk, and that's what I did. I turned my upsetness into positiveness, and they're probably not words, but anyway, I made them up. And I went for a walk, for like a 25-minute walk, and just expended some of that negative energy into something positive. And I was proud of myself for doing that, because I hate exercising most of the time. I mean, who likes it? I like the high I get afterwards. Pardon me. I can understand how people become gym junkies, but it's motivating myself to get out there in the first place and do the exercise so I can get that high. That's just, I don't want to do it. Any excuse will do when I don't want to exercise. Oh, it looks like it's going to rain. I can't exercise. I'm not going to bother. Or, it's too hot today and I don't like sweating, so I don't go in summer. But, just, any excuse will do. I didn't have sand shoes for a while, and rather than just go for a casual walk in flats, I would not go. It was just any excuse will do. But I was still managing to lose weight just from having the balloon in there and not being able to eat as much. My food portions have reduced dramatically. For example, my son and I used to go to buffet restaurants. We have one over here in Australia called Sizzler. I don't know if you have that anywhere else in the world, but you basically pay a price, you go in, you can eat as much as you want. And I'd go in there and I'd have 4 plates of food, like salads and pastas, and I'd have soup and bolognese and, just anything and everything. And then I'd have 2 bowls of dessert, and 3 cups of coffee or something, and just heaps of soft drink. And thinking back on how much food I could consume before compared to what I can now, it was just ridiculous. Like, seriously, no wonder my body was putting on that much fat, because it had nothing else to do with the food. My body didn't need it. So it was like, well, we can't get rid of it, so we'll store it as fat. It's just, like, today for lunch, I had, like, 2 small ladles worth of soup that I made. It was a vegetable kind of soup with vegetable stock and things like that, with, like, 2 small pieces of rye bread. That's another thing I've changed. I'm not eating white bread as much as I used to. I'm not eating sweet foods as much as I used to. My new comfort food is a piece of baked salmon, like with lemon and garlic and yummy stuff. Whereas before it was pavlova or cake or a muffin or chocolate, anything I can get into my face to give me a quick sugar fix to make me feel better. But these days, I'll take the time, I'll go bake myself a nice piece of fish, and it's almost as good as chocolate. It really is. Like, some people go, ugh, chocolate's not as, salmon's not as good as chocolate. For me, it is now. It's great. And, that in itself is half the battle, I think. Working out that you do like other foods more than you like chocolates and sweets. That you can take as much enjoyment out of other foods as you do sweets. And that was big for me. I think if you remember back to the videos when I was on the pre-surgery diet and I was really struggling with all that, you know, eating all those vegetables all the time, and it just wasn't really sustaining, and the shakes, it got to the point with the shakes where I was gagging as I was smelling it. I was so over shakes. But, and I haven't gone back on them since. I think I've had enough. Like, people keep saying, you know, you should go back on shakes or something, try and lose a bit more weight. And I'm like, no, because that's cheating as far as I'm concerned. I don't need to be on shakes. I can exercise and I eat well. The weight will come off. I don't want it to come off that fast. You know, you see these people who go on Biggest Loser and all that, and that's great for them. They do a lot of hard work to lose that weight. But I really don't think losing that much weight, 50 odd kilos in 3 months, is all that healthy. And you see them, they have so much excess skin and things like that. I prefer to do it slowly over a couple of years, and then, you know, feel better for it in the end. Feel be just a little bit healthier for it in the end. So I'm not going to go on shakes. We're told after our adjustments to go on shakes for, you know, 24 hours. And I've tried doing that, just getting like up and go drinks, you know, some protein drinks already made that I don't have to make shakes out of because they're gross. It's just not enough for me. I usually find by the afternoon my stomach is in pain from hunger. And if I have just a little, you know, something to eat, something from dinner, 2 tablespoons worth of dinner, it's so much better. And I'm not in pain. So I'm not going to put myself through the 24 hours of fluids to be in pain the whole time because I'm hungry. And I haven't had any complications from it. Otherwise, I would stop doing it. But I just take it very easy. Yeah, let's talk about adjustments. I've had quite a few adjustments now. I think I'm up to number 7. Adjustments is basically adjusting the amount of fluid in my balloon. We have a long tubing attached to our balloons with a port on the end. I don't know if I've explained this before. It's kind of like the lap banding ports, but apparently ours are bigger. And they're not sewn into, I think the lap banding ones are sewn kind of underneath your rib cage. And then they're on a shorter length of tubing. Ours are on a really long length of tubing and free floating. They kind of float around. Mine sits over on the right hand side of my body under my liver, kind of between my pelvis and my liver. It kind of free floats around there, but I can feel it fairly easily these days. My first adjustment has to be done under an x-ray with local anaesthetic because my doctor was trying to find the port in his office and was poking around in my scar for it, and I was crying. It was just too soon and too painful. I think it was a week after my surgery. He was going to put some more fluid in, or 2 weeks after, and I was still very tender. My scar was just disgusting. Not disgusting, but like, you know, disgustingly tender. Anyway, so he sent me off to get it done under x-ray, and they put 160 mils in. I started off with 840 mils that he put in while I was under the anaesthetic, and then they put the 160 mils in, so I had a litre. My implant's a size C, and I can hold, I think it's 1,920 mils, or 1.92 litres. So at the moment I have 1.51 litres, or 1510 mils. So I've had, yes, 7. I've had adjustments of 100 mils at times. Other times it's been 50. And I actually had an adjustment of 20 mils once. I'd had a bit of an OCD moment, and I just wanted things to be even for some reason. So I went up there and had them put an even amount of fluid in my balloon. I'm over that now, thank goodness. But yeah, I was really stressed out at the time, and when I'm stressed out, my OCD comes out, and I get really obsessed with even numbers and just cleaning things all the time. But that's all over and done with, and I'm not really bothered. Like, at the moment, I have a really uneven number of fluid in my balloon. It doesn't faze me whatsoever.